This is a Nintendo DS, and today we're going to be talking about games, sales, and everything you need to know about the Nintendo DS. Let's get right into it. So the Nintendo DS was released on November 21st, 2004, and this console is significant because this was the first system that went away from the traditional Game Boys that were coming out. There was the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP, and Game Boy Micro. This was the first one, or first Nintendo handheld, that changed it up. We got a new system, which is the Nintendo DS. So, looking at the back, you got your DS cartridge slot, and just in case you weren't ready to make the full jump, you can still play your Game Boy Advance games on the Nintendo DS. So this is the first Nintendo DS. Coming installed with the Nintendo DS is PictoChat and DS Download Play. That was the only two things you had on Nintendo DS because there wasn't many things you can download at the time when this released. The Game Boy slot, Game Boy Advance slot right there. But let's say you don't have games, you can only do PictoChat or DS Download Play if someone else has a DS that's close to you, or if someone else is close to you, you guys can draw and type to each other in PictoChat. So I know in later models of the Nintendo DS, like the Nintendo DSi, you could actually download stuff on there. It had a camera, had like Flipnote Studio, stuff like that. But this is the first one, and this is my favorite DS actually, because to me it's the most comfortable one. The Nintendo DS Lite is the same thing as the one I was just showing, except it's smaller and more compact. And there's also Nintendo DSi XL, which is the same thing as a DSi, but just bigger. The DSi is probably most people's favorite because of all the stuff you can do, the camera, the music mode. But I really like the original ones because it has the Game Boy Advance slot, so you can play two different game systems on it. But I can see why people like the DSi more. DSi was actually my first Nintendo handheld as a whole. I had a red one. I'll put on screen now, and it was a lot of fun. I never got to download games on there because I was young. I don't have access to like a credit card or like points cards. I think it was at the time. I think they still do point cards. No, they just do balance cards now. But at the time, it was Nintendo DSi points cards. You can buy DSi Wear games on there. I think they're called DSi Wear games. I think they're called because there's also WiiWare games. But yeah, a lot of people like the DSi. I personally like the original one more. I picked this up recently for only $18, and it has some scuffs, damage, and stuff. But it's been a lot of fun. I've been playing a lot of Pokemon on it, and yeah. Let's talk about the DS's insane library. Obviously, there's all the Pokemon games. There's Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Black, White, Black 2, White 2. But there's also more than just Pokemon. Pokemon's usually what I just play on my Nintendo handhelds. There's also New Super Mario Bros. DS, which was the first 2D Mario game in a long, long time, I'm pretty sure. Ever since the original Game Boy with Super Mario Land 1 and 2, and I think the third one. Because all the Game Boy Advance Mario games were just repackages of Super Nintendo Mario games, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, there's also Mario Kart DS. That was fun. That was not the first handheld Mario Kart game, but it was fun. So a lot of people own this more than a Game Boy Advanced because this system sold roughly around 154 million units, making it the second best-selling system of all time behind the PlayStation 2. And the best-selling handheld of all time, which will probably be overtook soon by Nintendo Switch, but maybe it already did, I don't know. But this sold around 154 million units, and I can see why. They insane the library, the multiple variants of DSs you can get. Yeah, but I thrown that in because a lot more people own this than the Game Boy. All the Game Boys, I think. Yeah, just by 50 million. I said that like it was a little number, but by like I think 50 million-ish, this sold more. Just wanted to double check. It was around. Oh, Nintendo Game Boy sold 118 million units, so do the math. It still sold better, so a lot more people own this. Let's get back into the games. There's Mario Party games on the DS. There's Mario Party DS, and I think there was other ones. I haven't actually played any of those, so maybe I gotta play them soon. I'm actually going to buy New Super Mario Bros. DS tomorrow. I don't know why I don't have it. I had it on my red DSi set I had earlier, but I don't have it anymore, so I had to go pick that up. There's also Nintendogs. I know a lot of people like Nintendogs. I used to have Nintendogs. I don't anymore. Definitely got to pick it up. I'm ready to expand my DS library because let's actually move this. If I come over here, I clearly do not have that many DS games. These four I picked up these two on the same day because they were cheap and I wanted to play both of them. This one I picked up because it was perfect condition. The cheap-ish price was $30, and per pals because it looked funny, and I seen someone talk about it, so I'm like, I just gotta try it. Beside that, I really want to see the DS come to Nintendo Switch Online in the future. I know we're probably a little bits away. We just got the GameCube on the Switch too. I think this would probably be next. Yeah, either this or the Wii is next. I'm really hoping to see this soon. The Pokemon games will come to the Nintendo Switch soon as a port or just on Nintendo Switch Online. But besides that, I love the Nintendo DS. It's probably one of my most played systems of this year so far. And yeah, this was Nintendo DS. Thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.